Welcome to Living Healthy and Aging Well. My name is Ken Haglind, and today is Saturday, May 9th, 2020, and we are broadcasting live from the AM 950 radio station that sits on the bluffs and overlooks the beautiful Bryant Lake Regional Park located right here in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. We are on the air every Saturday from noon to 1 to talk about your health and your life. We cover a wide range of topics to improve your quality of life, including wellness, health care, elder care, even topics related to end-of-life care. And of course, caregiver support issues, which are preeminent on everybody's mind, especially these days. I hope everyone's doing well, and thank you for listening to our show today. Now, we have another great show lined up for you. Joining me in the main studio here at AM 950 is Amy Miller. She's the owner of Miller Mediation and Solution, and she's also founder of Our Family Encounter. Now, Amy has created a great service to help families and solo seniors plan for their aging with independence and dignity. So it's going to be a great show. So I want to tell people right now, if you got questions about planning for end of life, planning for your future, get your questions ready and give us a call. We will be dedicating the entire show today to talk about these important issues. Now, just, we are new listeners to the show each week, and last week we had people from all over the country give us a text and actually called, and one person called and talked to us, and we just sure appreciate the great support you guys are giving us here for this show. This is the only show in the country that will talk about life and death, and we appreciate all the support you guys give us here. So please let us know you're listening by leaving us a voice or a text message on our radio show phone number. And that number is 612-999-3426. And you can get a hold of us even during the show to leave us a text message if you have a question or a comment. I do want to thank all of you that do leave text messages for us and voice messages. We appreciate hearing from you. We, of course, welcome your comments, questions, and suggestions. And also, please continue to let us know of topics or guests you would like for us to have on a future show. We are here to help you improve your quality of life. So call or text us anytime, 612-999-3426. Now, for all you new listeners, the purpose of this radio show is to bring you specialists and experts who have a passion for helping others to provide advice on how to navigate the challenges of managing both you and your family's health and quality of life. We also have a special focus on our aging population and how we can help you and your loved ones prepare for the various stages of life's transitions. In addition, we provide vital information for the caregivers who are essential in supporting our senior population. Now, you can find all of our shows by going to the AM 950 radio homepage and clicking the On-Demand button, and then clicking on our show logo, Living Healthy and Aging Well. You can also find all of our shows on iTunes, SoundCloud, and other podcast services. Now, we have two ways to get your questions answered today. If you want to talk to us live during the show, please call the radio station at 952-946-6205. Once again, that number is 952-946-6205. Now, our friendly and talented show producer, Eric Nelson, will be answering the calls today. So if you have a question and you want to get it live on the air, call us at 952-946-6205. Or once again, if you want to text us your question, text it at 612-999-3426. And please don't wait till the show is ended to text us your questions. We often receive many of the same questions left on our radio show phone after the show is done. So if you have a question, other people do as well. All right, we're looking forward to answering your questions today. Well, here, before we get into our conversation with Amy Miller, I want to mention that one of our show partners here, Episcopal Homes, has a new in-home support services program called Neighbor Care. And if you or someone you know is struggling to maintain living independently or is considering a move to an assisted living community, please call Neighbor Care first. Now, Neighbor Care is a new kind of in-home support service that is more affordable than traditional home care providers. This innovative new home care service is designed to help older adults remain independent by making in-home support services more affordable and accessible. Care professionals can help with daily tasks in smaller time increments, even multiple times each day as needed. Now, this unique support service is offered 24 hours a day and is being offered by Episcopal Homes in St. Paul. For more than 125 years, Episcopal Homes has been serving the Twin Cities and understands the importance of a safe and supportive home environment. Neighbor Care is currently providing services near the Episcopal Homes coverage area within the urban core of St. Paul. The service benefits from financial support from the Minnesota Department of Human Services, which recognizes innovation is needed to help support older adults living at home. So for more information, please call Karen Vento at 651-444-4000. Once again, to find out more about if Neighbor Care by Episcopal Homes is available in your neighborhood, please call Karen Vento, 651-444-4000. All right, let's get into our conversation today. Amy, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Ken, for bringing me to the show.
All right. Now, Amy Miller, now I've known you for a couple of years now. Met you through one of the networking groups that we both belong to, the Elder Resource Association of the South of the River. And Amy, you are the owner of Miller Mediation and Solution and also founder of Our Family Encounter. And that's a service created to help provide families and solo seniors plan for their aging with independence and dignity. Well, let's do this. The audience loves to hear about you. Tell us a bit about your background and how you got into this part of life and your profession.
Well, thank you. So about 2 years ago, I left corporate America, and I opened up my business to be a mediator, and thinking at the time I was going to do business mediation because that was kind of my experience in the workplace. Actually, it was a little over a year ago, we had that, I don't know if people kind of remember, last February, we had that super cold week where we had a chance to experience this shutdown for about a week.
Right.
Who knew that we were going to do it again now for who knows how long.
For weeks and months. Yeah.
And for months at a time. So it was during that time, it was, 25 below zero, super cold. And, I ended up going to the wrong meeting. I was actually supposed to be going to a meeting at a church in Mendota, and I ended up showing up to St. Joe's in West St. Paul. Turns out they were actually celebrating Mass with Bishop Cousins on the World Day of the Sick. So how timely, sometimes you realize you're in exactly the right place, but that's not where you intended to be that day. And it was after we were having lunch afterwards, and I ended up coming across sitting at a table with some other healthcare professionals, and, we're doing the who are you and what do you do? And I was like, I am a mediator, and they're like, we could use some help. Okay, so when a healthcare professional says they need help, how can I help you?
Right.
And there's two things that they brought up. One is that if you go to the emergency room and you do not have a healthcare directive, the doctors have to decide what to do. And I think this is becoming, today, I think we're seeing this be lived out. If you go into the hospital and you have COVID and you need to be put on a ventilator, the doctors have to decide who gets the ventilator if there's more patients than there are machines. So that's a real difficult decision. If they had some direction, that would help them out a lot. The second thing they shared is that in their clinics, they would have patients come in and might give them a difficult diagnosis and to be told, I don't have anyone here to help me with my supportive decision making. Mm-hmm. My family lives out of town, or maybe I don't have children, or the situation could be a variety of things. Really hard. And so they said, if you can find a way that we can solve that problem, we would love the help. So I went around to the mediation community and I said, who's helping out with this? Thinking, okay, somebody's got this,
There's
right?
got to be a resource there, right?
Somebody's got to be doing this. And then I realized, no, this is, it's an open space and an open conversation. I think people have wanted to have this conversation. They've wanted to provide this, but it's a really hard conversation to have, and people want to ignore it. And they're very successful at ignoring it until it becomes too late. So that's kind of been my goal for the past year and a half is what are some solutions we can bring? What are ways that we can help people think about these things beforehand and then get it documented so it can be provided either to the family members or to your chosen or trusted advisors, so you're not going through this process alone.
And that's, we got so much to talk about here. We're already at the end of our first segment here. But when we return from the break, let's continue that conversation because it's so important. And we see it in our practice in hospice that people just do not have something in place to have those conversations. All right, folks, we'll be right back to continue our conversation with Amy Miller, owner of Miller Mediation and Solution and founder of Our Family Encounter. So we'll be right back. So please get your questions ready when we return, and please stay with us.
Now, more than ever, we are being faced daily with the topic of human mortality, and for many people, estate planning has been top of mind. Getting your estate planning done now can be easy and cost-effective. Schroman Law offers virtual options for initial consultations so that new clients can safely initiate the process. With many facing uncertain financial situations, Schroman Law also offers affordable fees for legal documents. Learn more at schromanlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
Finding the right lawyer is incredibly stressful. It can be tough to know even where to start. Don't just run an internet search for an attorney. Start with the Minnesota Lawyer Referral and Information Service, an enhanced program of the Hennepin and Ramsey County Bar Associations. They'll connect you with over 200 thoroughly vetted, qualified attorneys practicing in over 50 areas of law. Call 612-752-6699 or go to mnlawyerreferral.org. The right call for the right lawyer.
Hi, this is Chad from AM 950. I'm here with Ryan, owner of the locally owned Snap Construction and arguably the most well-reviewed exterior contractor in the metro. Ryan had to call in for this ad because he's practicing social distancing. So what is Snap Construction doing right now to provide a safe working environment?
Thanks for the introduction, Chad. I am at home practicing social distancing, watching the little man, and trying to get a little work done here at home. Once again, thank you to all the AM 950 listeners who have worked with us in the past. Your support has been tremendous. Chad, the safety of our homeowners and our team at Snap Construction is the absolute first priority. Right now, we are offering a free no-contact estimate for roofing, siding, or window replacement. Through video chat, email, text, we'll deliver your bid to you without face-to-face contact. Lock in your historically low labor and material rates now and build later. No obligation. You can cancel any future work with no cost or penalty.
For a free no-contact estimate, call 612-333-SNAP.
Hi, this is Laura. These are indeed confusing times. So much of our life, education, business, meetings have moved online, yet not everyone has internet access. AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota, is here for everyone. Radio reaches people without internet. In fact, radio reaches more Americans than any other platform. 92% of U.S. adults listen to radio every week. Radio connects. If you know some organization, maybe a religious or civic group, seeking to engage and knows that a Zoom call costs money and does not reach everyone, consider a taped or live broadcast on AM 950. Perhaps a virtual not-so-silent auction, recovery support, spiritual support, business networking, poetry slam. If you want to learn more about creating a live or taped message on AM 950, call 952-946-8885 or email Laura at am950radio.com. AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota, here for everyone.
You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today in the main studio here at AM 950 is Amy Miller. She is owner of Miller Mediation and Solution and also founder of Our Family Encounter. Amy has created a service to help families and solo seniors plan for their aging with independence and dignity. Before we get back into our conversation with Amy, I want to mention that one of our show partners here, as you may know, Genetic Health RX, they provide testing for prescription medications. And what they do is they do a quick cheek sample and get some DNA material, and they send it off to the lab, and the lab then identifies which of the prescription medications available today are right for your unique genetic profile. So it really helps optimize your treatments and helps avoid potentially unwanted adverse drug side effects. Now, this is kind of a new program that just started several years ago in the last 5-10 years, and it's becoming more and more popular as people understand the need for personalized medications. And so I want to mention that if several questions have come up on our calls from listeners. They ask, is the test painful? No, the test is not painful. It's a simple swab inside your mouth, and it takes only a few seconds, and it's pain-free. So there's no discomfort at all to get your DNA tested here for this particular pharmacogenetic test. It's a great test. And the thing is, who should get this test? Well, the test is available for people of all ages. But if you are taking prescription medications or are planning to, you should get this test done. It's a one-time test, and it's good for the rest of your life. Now, how much does it cost? People always ask, how expensive is this genetic test? Well, the test is paid for by Medicare and most insurance plans. And so if you don't have Medicare and don't have insurance, it's still very, very affordable. So if you have any questions or want more information about this really, really important safety measure to make sure you're getting the right medications for your unique genetic profile, call the folks at Genetic Health RX. Their number is 612-991-9930. Once again, 612-991-9930. And the friendly team there at Genetic Health RX will walk you through the process and schedule your visit. It takes only less than 10 minutes to have this done, and it's good for the rest of your life. All right, Amy, let's get back into our important conversation here. But first, let's let our audience members know how they can get a hold of you if they do have more questions. What's the best way to get a hold of you and your organization?
So my website is ourfamilyencounter.com, or you can contact 952-679-8332.
All right, fantastic. Now, we'll give that number out and website out throughout the show. So if you've missed it, folks, we're going to give it again every segment. But if you have any questions regarding how to plan for the future, it's really important you give Amy a call. All right, well, let's get back into our conversation here. Last segment, we were talking about how you got into this, and it really is an area that people absolutely need to be planning for. We've talked about health care directives on this show quite frequently, how important that is. But there's more to it than just a health care directive. I'm looking at like a 15-page document that has all kinds of questions that people really need to think through. What do they want as they get older? And so let's talk about some of the topics and some of the things that you find when you're talking to your clients that they need to be thinking through, and also some of the objections, maybe some of the things that people just tend to avoid having conversations about, but they really need to have them.
Right. So oftentimes when people think of estate planning, they're thinking, okay, an estate attorney, or I need a financial advisor. Well, maybe, and I think one of the things we're discovering now is people may not have saved as much as they thought they would need to for end-of-life care or even retirement. Obviously, right now, we're in a situation where I think a lot of plans are kind of in flux. People, maybe they're not working at the moment. So what do they do? That becomes, a great place to start. The financial advisor and the attorneys. Some of the stuff you can do online. Some of the stuff you can get some expert advice with. So those are options that are available to anybody. Some of the things they don't think about is, if I can't live at home, where would I want to live? That's a tough one. You're going to live in an apartment or a co-op, or maybe I call it Golden Girl style, which is where you're living with roommates. Or maybe you have to move in with your children. Or, and if you can pay for it, great. But if you don't have the money saved, what do you do? I know that there's insurance policies that can be sold, but sometimes those get to be a little bit more expensive than what you have the money for. What happens then? I think one of the things that we were just starting to hear about is that the homelessness rate, especially here in the Twin Cities, they started seeing since 2015 that numbers started to increase. So if you start having seniors who are homeless, they have medical conditions. What do we do? Our homeless shelters are not prepared to handle medical conditions. What do we do with these people? These are real impactful conversations. And if we don't realize that mom and dad, maybe they've moved out of state, maybe they're wintering down in Arizona or Florida, and we don't really know what their lifestyle's like. Well, I know down in Arizona, they said homelessness has gone up a lot. And wouldn't that be an awful situation to know that mom and dad are sleeping on a park bench rather than, in a nice facility that we thought they were living in? These are some real concerns that unless you come up with a plan ahead of time and you start talking to people about this, you're putting yourself in a really difficult spot.
And what happens too, we find out, is that decisions have to be made then in a crisis. And that's the most difficult time in which to make a plan or to find your options, because usually your options and alternatives are very limited when you have a crisis that comes upon you.
That or if you, let's say, dementia, and you have a test for incapacity, at that point in time, professionals are really in a tough spot in how they can help you. Because if you do not have capacity, pretty much the only options remaining to you is to go to the courts and to have guardianship or conservatorship assigned by the courts. Mm-hmm. And that's very expensive. It costs a lot and takes a long time. There was a family that they asked me if I could help with mediating this. And it's a situation where I could not mediate the conversation between mom and son. But mom had gone into a temporary care unit, TCU unit.
Amy, let's do this. We're up against another break here.
Okay.
Let's pick up that story when we get back after the break here, all right? It's time for a quick break, folks. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Amy Miller. She's the owner of Miller Mediation and Solution and founder of Our Family Encounter. Amy's created a great service to help families and solo seniors plan for their aging and independence with dignity. So please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Now, more than ever, we are being faced daily with the topic of human mortality. And for many people, estate planning has been top of mind. Getting your estate planning done now can be easy and cost-effective. Schroman Law offers virtual options for initial consultations so that new clients can safely initiate the process. With many facing uncertain financial situations, Schroman Law also offers affordable fees for legal documents. Learn more at schromanlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
Minnehaha Falls Landscaping creates outdoor environments that grow beauty and support health and wellness. We provide everything needed for people and pollinators to grow healthy together in the home landscape. Contact us for landscape renovations, patios, walkways, retaining walls, butterfly gardens, rain gardens, and bee lawns. Minnehaha Falls Landscaping is a business rooted in healthy soil. We rely on soil health to beautify landscapes, restore ecosystems, and protect pollinators. We love sharing our soil secrets with everyone. Visit us at MinnehahaFallsLandscape.com.
Hey, it's Brett from FYI Politics. We appreciate you listening to AM 950 and promoting Minnesota's only progressive talk station. We also want to remind you how important it is to support our advertisers amid the coronavirus outbreak. The advertisements you hear on AM 950 are what allows us to stay on the airwaves and bring you the best in progressive talk radio. We're not funded through some giant parent company. We're an independent, locally owned business that relies on the local advertisers you hear. Unfortunately, many of those advertisers are going to be hit hard by the coronavirus closures. So please, support our advertisers in any way that you can. Whether that's ordering some delicious takeout food from one of our Eat Local Minnesota restaurants, purchasing gift cards, or even just contacting them and telling them thanks for supporting AM 950. We know times are tough, so even the littlest thing you can do can go a long way to help. Find a full list of our advertisers at am950radio.com. That's am950radio.com. And thanks for listening.
Are you wondering what's going on with our real estate market right now? Then why not become a house geek? Hi, I'm Kirk Duckwall with Bricks Real Estate and host of the Twin Cities Real Estate Show here with your Market Minute. 4.86 is the average number of showings per week per listing in the median sale price range, and this is a key indicator of current demand in our marketplace. The median sale price is up by 8% over the same time last year, which is at about $297,000. The 30-year conventional interest rate is at around 3.33%. This is historically low and is virtually unchanged over last week. So what does this mean for sellers? Showing activity is slower than it was last year at the same time. However, due to the low inventory of homes for sale, activity is still showing it is a seller's market. For buyers, you are able to schedule showings with your realtor if you are taking proper precautions. Are you thinking about making a move? Then remember, you can check us out online anytime at housegeeks.com.
With your AM 950 weather, this is Eric Nelson. Today, a 40% chance of rain after 4 p.m. with a high of 57. And tonight, the rain is likely to continue with a low around 35. Tomorrow, a 60% chance of snow with a high of 48 and a low of 32. Monday, sunny with a high of 53 and a low of 33. With the state having closed bars and restaurants for dining in, it's especially important that you support our Eat Local Minnesota restaurants, featuring high-quality local foods, unique dishes, vegetarian options, and so much more. These restaurants are locally owned, so the money you spend stays local. Find all the restaurants offering takeout at eatlocalminnesota.com.
Welcome back. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today in the main studio here at AM 950 is Amy Miller. She's the owner of Miller Mediation and Solution and founder of Our Family Encounter. Amy's created a very, very valuable service to help families and solo seniors plan for their aging with independence and dignity. And there's a lot to talk about here, but I first want to mention that this radio program is brought to you in part each week by Minnesota Hospice. Minnesota Hospice is an independent, physician-owned medical practice serving our local communities for over 12 years with innovative and comprehensive end-of-life health care. If you have any questions regarding end-of-life health care or support, please contact the compassionate team of experts at Minnesota Hospice. Now, folks, remember, hospice care, if you're on Medicare, is completely free. And that means all the equipment needs you have, all the medication needs you have, all the care needs you need are taken care of. So if you need nurses to come and visit and help make sure that you're doing okay, they have that. They have social services experts to help you with resource needs. They have chaplain services to help you with spiritual questions. Listen, it's a complete, comprehensive clinical team that can come to your door wherever you may live and can help you. It's the best value in healthcare today is hospice care. So don't be afraid of hospice care. You know, we also used to think, oh, that's where you go to die, and that is so far from the truth nowadays. Hospice care is where we come to you to help you live the best you can. So please, any questions about that, and please don't be shy about that, because it's so confusing to understand what end-of-life health care looks like. please call the folks at Minnesota Hospice, 952-898-1022. 952-898-1022. Or, of course, visit them online at minnesotahospice.com. All right, Amy, before we get back into our conversation, and the time is flying by here, there's so much to talk about, but if people have questions or want more information, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
So my email again is amy@ourfamilyencounter.com, or you can come to my website of ourfamily.encounter.com, or you may call at 952-679-8332.
Okay, fantastic. And that information is all on your website. And again, it's ourfamilyencounter.com. And you've got videos on here. You've got a lot of great information. So I'd really encourage people to pull up your website and check that out. You also have, we'll talk about this, how people can work with you as a client of yours, and what are some of the benefits and services that you do. Maybe we talk about this stewardship. You talk about stewardship in on the break here a little bit. Talk about what a design steward is, or an escalation steward. These are specific services that people can get from you and your organization.
That's correct. So if you need help with creating your plan, there's like a lot of decisions that need to be made. I think we've touched on a couple, the financial, the legal. Those are the obvious. Housing is another one. Again, we've touched on that. Ones we haven't touched on, how are you associating or socializing? That ends up being a big thing, especially once you lose the ability to drive. What happens? How do you stay in touch? You're in your home right now. Who's coming to visit? Probably not a lot of people. How are you staying in touch with people? The next one is your wellness, making sure that you're staying active and you are good eating, good activity levels, you're mentally and you're spiritually in a good place. There's the end-of-life decisions, which how do you want to plan the celebration of life? Again, that's one thing we can all count on will need to be done. And actually, one of the things I really want to promote is if you can make those decisions and get them paid for ahead of time, you can save a lot of money, knowing that it's going to be about $10,000, which maybe people don't realize how much does it cost for end of life. That's something each and every one of us are going to have to do. I mean, quite frankly.
Yes, that's in terms of funeral planning and burial or cremation and all the things that go on. Yeah, I've heard the same thing, about $10,000.
About $10,000.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is, what's your legacy? Because I think really when we think of our time here on Earth, what have we accomplished? What's the lesson we would like to pass on to our children? And that's one of the things I try to remind people. How we die, that's the last lesson we can teach our family. And we kind of maybe forget about that as parents, that we have one more lesson to teach. And what would we like that to be? So if you're starting to think about what would that be and how would I like to create that, that's what a design steward does. The implementation steward actually is I'm partnering with licensed social workers. This is really critical, especially if family members live out of town. Who's going to care for mom and dad if, let's say, you can't be there, and you want to make sure that they're taking their medication and they're getting the support services they need, whether it's transportation or meals or socialization again. How are they being cared for? So I would partner with social workers on that. And then the last piece is, as we know, families can be very wonderful but very challenging. And again, what's our legacy? A lot of times it's our family. So if we have difficult time making our decisions known or working through as a family, how we're getting along, how are we caring for mom, who's the caretaking child, who's going to help pay for maybe some of the costs that aren't covered by Medicare, dental work, hearing aids. Those are costs that are over and above and not included in any of the Medicare or Medicaid portions. And if you don't have that, someone else has to pay for that. So is there a way, like you're out of town, can you pay for those while your brother or sister that's maybe in town is doing the day-to-day trips to the grocery store, running to the doctor's appointments.
Well, and one of the things that we're finding today, of course, with this COVID stay-at-home orders, isolation, it really is impacting the senior population. One of the concerns that we always see and we're concerned about in our practice is that we find people that are isolated, lonely, and bored. And studies have shown that's what reduces people's quality of life and ultimately their lifespan, because they don't have that socialization. They don't have that routine of getting out and doing something or just having somebody coming over. So it's great to have your service helping identify, how will that look? What would that look like? And who will do it? And whether it's social service person or if it's in-home care, like one of our sponsors here, they can come over just in 15-minute increments just to check on people. And because I'm finding that talking to the children, they're much more stressed out about their parents than the parents are, because they're taking care and they're trying to think through the implications of the transition as parents get older. So it's nice to have someone who works with families. That's what they do all the time. They see around the corners and help people avoid those pitfalls and get the plan in place. And then, of course, you having the background in mediation to help people navigate through those conversations. Because it's tough to have, without a third party sometimes being there to help move the conversation along. They can get hung up sometimes,
right,
on some things that maybe not, that are very important, but maybe not relevant for that particular topic.
So I bring up something that I actually bring to my mediation, especially when you have families that live out of town or away from each other. And this is going to be a stretch for a lot of seniors, but I bring video conferencing in. So everyone's talking about Zoom these days,
right,
or maybe FaceTime or Skype. But there is something that's magical and transformative that happens if you can have a meeting with your family. Let's say you want to have family dinner, and you just have that family meeting. Mom and Dad, you're sitting at the dining room table. That's where you're normally used to having those hard conversations anyway. And your kids can be homeschooling, or they could be at work, or they could be doing their lives, but they all can come together at the same time. And because you can see each other, it's almost like you're there. It's a beautiful, I know it's using technology. I know that jump of, okay, can I push this button? Can I connect to this call is a little bit like, whoa, that's a little weird. Yet when you have that opportunity to connect with your family and you can see each other, it's transformative. So I know that's something that maybe sounds a little weird, a little bit out there, but it's something I really challenge my families to do.
Now, is that something that you could help them with in terms of the technology? If it's, sometimes we have people that'll call into the show and they'll say, I just have a phone. I've never used FaceTime. I don't have a phone that's capable of doing that. If a family wanted to have a little bit of help with what's been successful in other families, is that something that you or you have resources that would help them?
So one of the things I might do is suggest the kids provide a cell phone. Because the cell phones, the smartphones today, oftentimes have that camera and that capability. Or you have a GrandPad, and I have to check with the GrandPad company to see if they have the application available to be. But like tablets, I know there's a lot of tablets getting out there. You can have that application downloaded, and I use a tool actually. It's called BlueJeans, which is it's very similar to Zoom, but the idea is it's one button and you're on.
Right.
And so it's a wonderful tool to connect families.
That's true. And you were honored recently by some of your innovative work.
Yes,
in trying to mediate and provide help with people.
And actually, BlueJeans actually recognized me for this conversation I'm having with families, because it's not a way people have considered using video conferencing before.
Right.
So it was kind of a neat recognition. I was actually being recognized with the Global Fund and National Geographic.
Wow, that's fantastic.
So that was a kind of a honorable mention, but it was a phenomenal opportunity.
Well, we hear about telehealth now with this whole COVID thing and how people are trying to redo. I mean, we have distance learning for the kids, and telehealth, of course, has been around for a few years now, but it's just really not taken hold as much as we like to see it. But I can see this becoming also another way in which to connect families, and we have to start planning and making decisions. Decisions can be redone and changed, but having that conversation to start things off is so important.
Well, and actually it brings up a point of a story I'd heard once of a son who had received a phone call saying, hey, Mom broke her arm. And he wished that he could have seen the video, because not only did Mom break her arm, but when she fell, because she also hit her head. So she actually had a hematoma. But that's not what she had been called, or he was called to provide help on. But you could see where the different treatment because of the hematoma versus the broken arm.
Oh, sure. Exactly. All right. Well, the music is cueing us out here. It's time for a short break. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Amy Miller. She's the owner of Miller Mediation and Solution and also founder of Our Family Encounter. Folks, if you have any questions for her, please, this is one more segment left today. Please give us a call, and we'll be right back.
We use technology every day to help manage our lives. Why not use it to help manage your medications? St. Paul Corner Drug offers several free tools to keep you on track while taking your medications. Use our mobile app to quickly order a refill, or the Meds on Q application, which turns your smartphone or tablet into your very own personal medication attendant. Email and text messaging options let you know when your medication is ready for pickup, making efficient use of your time. St. Paul Corner Drug, pharmacy the way it should be.
Minuteman Press Uptown is still open and printing everything, but they are taking some extra precautions. You can order by phone or online and do curbside pickup. Plus, they're offering 25% off all postcards right now for AM 950 listeners in need. That's Minuteman Press Uptown.
Zero Res has proven in lab tests to remove more dirt and soils than other methods. This month, you can get free room Zero Res clean starting at only $129 and take $50 off your air duct cleaning. Plus, they'll always follow CDC guidelines when cleaning your home. That's 952 Zero Res or ZeroResMinnesota.com. Hey, it's Brett from FYI Politics, and I want to thank you for listening to AM 950. The advertisers you hear are what allows us to stay on the airwaves, and unfortunately, some of them are going to be going through some tough times with the coronavirus. So support our advertisers in any way you can, whether that's ordering takeout food from one of our Eat Local Minnesota restaurants, purchasing gift cards, or just contacting them and telling them thanks for supporting AM 950. Even the littlest thing you can do can go a long way. Find a full list of our advertisers at am950radio.com. And thanks for listening.
Hi, this is Paul Metza inviting you to listen to a great new episode on the Wall of Power Radio Hour this weekend. We feature actor Chris Mulkey. Chris has appeared in over 100 film and TV shows, including Captain Phillips' Twin Peaks, Rambo First Blood, and more. You'll see his face if you cruise the late night airwaves. He's also recently recovered from COVID-19. We did a phone interview with him. You will find it most enjoyable and informative. 6 p.m. Saturday on AM 950.
Hi, Gregory Rich, owner of Habitation Furnishing and Design and host of Drinkin' the Style. Look, we're all working from home right now, and chances are you've become aware of the importance of a decent office chair. Well, I'd like to offer you a means of helping a local business while making working from home a lot more pleasant. How about considering the X-Chair? We can ship the X-Chair directly to your home. Now, I wish I could have you into Habitation to try it out, but that's not an option, so I'm encouraging you to visit xchair.com to have a look. But once you do, please give Habitation a call to place your order. Doing so ensures that you're supporting a local business at a time that we really need your help. And I'll tell you what, when you place your order by phone with Habitation, we'll discount the chairs an extra 10% off the lowest price on the X-Chair website. So do your back, neck, and butt a favor and take a look at X-Chair at xchair.com. Then call Habitation at 952-426-3548. That's 952-426-3548.
Welcome back, folks. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well. This is the show where we talk about your health and your life. The goal for the show is to help improve your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today in studio is Amy Miller. She is owner of Miller Mediation and Solution and founder of Our Family Encounter. And Amy has created a great service to help families and seniors plan for their aging with independence and dignity. Amy, let's make sure we get in the phone number and email and website contact information for people if they have more questions and want to get more information from you.
So my website is ourfamilyencounter.com. My email is amy@ourfamilyencounter.com, and then it's 952-679-8332.
All right, fantastic. This is the last segment, folks. So if you do have questions about the mediation services that she has or the encountering services, and we're going to talk about the encounter services here as well, the last segment. But if you have any questions, please give us a call or give us a text, and we'll get that question answered for you. So Amy, several things we've talked about today. First of all, getting some clarity on all the decisions that people need to make, and you have these various services with Design Stewards, which help with creating that program, implementation stewards that help with putting that together and making it happen, and they also have Escalation Stewards, which help with navigating family dynamics and helping, as a trained family mediator, helping get resolution for things. So those, three different stewards that you have. And you also mentioned that people that are interested in becoming a steward may want to reach out and contact you and talk to you about that as well.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, great. Well, the last few minutes here, I do want to talk about Our Family Encounter, and it's a service you have, and you can people can register their emergency contacts with you. And could you talk about that service, Our Family Encounter service?
So on the website, you'll see that there is a product to register your emergency contact. Everybody usually has an emergency contact. But the idea behind this is, do they know what your wishes are? So if you register your emergency contact, I will send you, and actually you'll see on my website, there's a survey. I will provide feedback on the survey. It's way at the top of the website, not real clear, but it's right there at the very, very top. And if you fill out the survey, I will respond back with a personalized, custom plan for you. Mm-hmm. And we cover everything from housing, financial, legal, wellness, socialization, celebration of life, and legacy. And you'll get a traffic, kind of like a traffic light, red, yellow, or green. If you're green, my goal is to get everything to green. Mm-hmm. And then I will store that information for you and for your family in your emergency contact until there is an emergency, whether it's a illness or dementia or death, unfortunately. They can then just go to Our Family Encounter. We'll have all of your contacts. So I'm not looking for any personal information. I don't want any bank accounts or any of your personal decisions. I would just like to know who's your attorney, who's your banker, who are the people that you know and trust that know your plans. Because I think a lot of times emergency contacts don't know who that is. But the idea of we can have that information there and we'll store it until it needs to be handed over.
And accessed. Okay. So, and there's no cost to fill the survey out.
No.
Yeah. So, and that's really important. And how many questions are on the survey?
There's 18 questions.
Okay. So it's not a lot. It's not like doing a multiphasic test and it's 200 questions, right? It's 18 questions. Once that's filled out, and there's no charge for that portion of it, but once it's filled out, you'll review that, puts in an evaluation to that, and then send that back to the person because you put your email in as part of that survey. And then if you decide to go forward, then a person can have that information registered with you so that a family member or whomever that needs that access to information always has access to it then.
Right. So the idea is when you register your contact, I would actually like to meet the three of us should meet.
Yes.
So one, I can know who they are and I can have a way to validate them because I don't want to give your information to the wrong person.
Right.
But then they also know, what does Our Family Encounter, what have you chosen to have us do? And so they can reach back to me. So let's say they do get that phone call from the hospital. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you can't think of, okay, who do I call next? I would like it if you contact Our Family Encounter, because we have your loved one's information.
Right.
And then once that I validate, okay, you're the person that's authorized, here is that information we've either worked on or we've been provided. And another product that we have is a contact list. And like I mentioned before, we don't want your personal information, but we do want to know who your attorney is, who your doctor is, who's your neighbor, who can we have your emergency contact reach out to. And then that information goes to that emergency contact. And it's at that time the emergency contact, sometimes you're in a really high stressful situation.
Mm-hmm.
If you need help with making sure you get a ride home from the hospital, you get meals provided to you, that's where we provide that implementation steward to help you with that transition.
Got it. So I'm looking on your website, and so to register your emergency contacts then with Our Family Encounter, that's about $19.99. So it's $20.
Yes.
To have that registered, it's a one-time fee, and it's always there then. And again, that's been developed from the survey questions that a person fills out on your website so that they make sure they get all that information to you. So it's really a comprehensive set of information that when a person does need access to it, and it may be their spouse or a POA, power of attorney person, or whoever, can then get that information so they know who to contact then.
That's correct.
Okay. It helps to eliminate a lot of confusion at that time when you're dealing with a crisis.
Correct.
And that's we were talking about off the air. The worst time to make decisions is in a crisis without a plan.
Right.
All right. Well, we are nearing the end of the show here. This has gone by very, very fast, Amy. Just had a great time with you. We have to have you back.
Well, thank you, Ken.
You've got to come back for another show here because there's so much more we want to talk about. But anyway, I want to make sure that I thank Amy Miller. She's the owner of Miller Mediation and Solution and also founder of Our Family Encounter. Amy has done a great job of creating services to help families and solo seniors plan for their aging with independence and dignity. Amy, let's give our audience the contact information again if they will have more questions and want to get more information from you.
So the website again is ourfamilyencounter.com. My number is 952-679-8332, or you can reach out to me directly at amy@ourfamilyencounter.com.
Fantastic. We hope you enjoyed today's show, folks. Please contact us with any questions or comments you have regarding today's conversation, or let us know of topics you would like for us to discuss on future shows. You can always reach us 24/7 by phone or text at 612-999-3426, 612-999-3426. Please join us again next Saturday at noon for another live broadcast, and thank you for listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. Until next time, live well.